So you've got your car rental quotes. But before you book, let's make sure that you aren't renting a vehicle for longer than you need to. In this episode of my Car Rental in Ireland series, I'm explaining how you can save a little bit of time, money, and stress by examining your car rental needs. Welcome to another Traveling in Ireland Quick Tips episode, where I share one piece of advice to help you make the most of your Ireland vacation. I'm Jody Halstead, Ireland Travel Advisor and host of the Traveling in Ireland podcast. So when you are looking at your car rental, what you want to look at is, where do you really need the vehicle? And in most cases, or many cases, there are a day or two where a car just isn't necessary, and that is Dublin City. So if you have Dublin as part of your itinerary, I highly recommend not renting a car for that portion of your trip. So in my opinion, after driving in Dublin, it's not a fun city to drive in. There's one-way streets. There are unequal length blocks. There's narrow streets that feels like alleyways, pedestrian-only streets, buses, taxis, people, the Lewis. It's mad. I've driven in large cities across the U.S. and they're a walk in the park compared to Dublin. And then there's the parking. There's not a lot of it, and it's expensive. So just kind of think about when you're going to be in Dublin and assess your car rental needs. Now, Dublin is a very compact city. There's plenty of public transportation options, including buses. There's also the hop-on, hop-off buses. There's the Lewis, the above-ground light rail, super convenient, super affordable. And for those locations that are a bit further afield, you have the DART, which is the Dublin Area Rapid Transit. So that's the train system that will take you out into those suburbs. Very easy and affordable option. So Dublin is it's super easy to get around without a car. Plus, the majority of attractions that visitors seek in the city are right there in the city center and walkable. Actually, usually faster to walk than to use the hop-on, hop-off bus, in all honesty, for so many of those attractions. So it's a very walkable, compact city center. Now, I recommend Dublin at the beginning or the end of your trip, so you can either pick up your car after a day or two, or you return it before going into the city. That way you're cutting off a couple of days of the car rental cost, of the insurance cost, the extra driver cost, all of those fees that they add up. So I really don't think that a car is necessary when you are in Dublin. Now, another option that a lot of people find really handy, just because they don't want to drive around Dublin, period, is to use public transportation to your first or your next location. So if you're starting, you're landing in Dublin Airport, but that's not where you're starting your trip. Maybe you're starting in Galway or Cork. There are express buses from the airport direct to those locations, and you can pick up a car in either of those spots. You could also, if you're starting your trip in Dublin, take the train to Galway, Cork, even Killarney, and rent a car in those locations to begin your trip there. The more rural locations are a little less stressful to drive in. Even with Dublin Airport being outside the city, you still are usually getting right onto the M1, which is a very, very busy motorway. So you may opt to not drive until you're away from Dublin, and that is a terrific choice. You also have Shannon Airport, so directly across the country, and from there you can get buses or taxis into Limerick or Galway very, very easily and pick up your car when you're ready to leave those locations. Now, when you're deciding between airport and city pickup and drop-off, you want to check your accommodations. You want to see if you are thinking of taking your car into Dublin, is parking included? If not, how much does it cost? Where is it? You also want to check where the car rental locations are and note their hours. What are their open hours during the week. And then their weekend hours are going to be different, and they're often closed on Sunday. So those are things to keep in mind if you're thinking about renting a car outside of an airport location. Now, once you've figured out when to rent, your next step is booking smart. So one more step before you actually click book. We're going to talk about car size, age, and timing, and how that can affect your rental. Thanks so much for joining me. Slán for now.